Teh Tarik Warna. Teh Tarik Warna tu kasi dia kata Teh Tarik satu, so kita dah boleh Teh Tarik satu ya. Okay, tuan-tuan puan, thank you for coming. Welcome to Yayasan Inovasi Malaysia. This is our monthly program. It is our drive to make innovation cool. We want everybody to talk about innovation. It doesn't have to be associated with just science and technology, research and development. Everybody, you, layperson, me, everybody can talk about it. No protocol, no nothing. Have your questions ready. We have good people coming here and sharing their experience and things like that. But before I move on and call our presenter today, saya nak beritahu yang kita ada juga online competition on innovation. So you can go to our online, you can submit you know, your innovation yang you jumpa, yang not necessarily you buat or yang orang lain buat pun tak apa. You know, you go around, you find this makcik is doing something and you submit it online, you will win a prize, and that makcik will also win a prize. Okay, so let me announce here the winner for the third week of our competition. The winner is Smart Corn Peeler. Ia ialah sebuah mesin pelerai biji-biji jagung dari pulurnya dan proses menghancurkan pulur menjadi makanan haiwan. Idea ini tercetus apabila merasakan jagung kukus yang dijual amat susah untuk disediakan dan tiada nilai komersial. Jadi saya persilakan Encik Naim bin Marwan. Encik Naim bin Marwan. Iya. Okay. And you know what? Dia menang apa? Dia menang Apple iPad 2 16GB by pound. Mana hadiahnya? Cuba sikit. Okay, here. Alright, okay. So bukan saja dia yang sebagai innovator yang akan menang, tapi juga orang yang melapor juga akan menang. Okay? Alright, kita buat. Okay. Alright, so okay, thank you very much. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, terima kasih. Biasanya kita akan bawa innovator kita ke Selamat Pagi Malaysia because YIM ada appears on TV every week on Monday. So there will be 15-minute segment where we will showcase our innovators. Pemenang yang kedua untuk pemenang bagi minggu keempat memenangi Samsung Galaxy Tab 10.1. Okay, produknya ialah propeller kayu ya. Propeller untuk para motor, ia adalah satu-satunya produk yang dihasilkan di Malaysia. Selain daripada para motor, juga boleh digunakan untuk airboat, hovercraft, pesawat ringan dan lain-lain. Memandangkan propeller ini tiada diperbuat di Malaysia, maka usaha untuk membuatnya memberikan inspirasi yang sangat tinggi kepada orang lain. Jadi saya persilakan Encik Mujib Ahmad bin Abdul Rashid dengan produk propeller ni. He's staying quite close to us here in Putrajaya. You can visit him. Well done. Dan kategori inovasi terbaik bagi juara bagi yang memenangi Apple iPad 2 16 gig Wi-Fi ialah penstabil kamera oleh Syed Ashraf Al-Khadari. Dipersilakan. Produk ini berfungsi untuk menstabilkan kamera, very cheap. We have the product here that has been used. The normal product to stabilize camera costs you thousands of ringgit. This one is ingenious, you know, costing just a few, probably 100, 200 ringgit. So we've taken this product to Korea. Now it's in the process of filing for the IPs. Alright. So dipersilakan adik Syed Ashraf Al-Khadari. Currently we are evaluating nearly 200 products coming from all over Malaysia, especially orang kampung kita. So it's going to be very exciting. Watch out for it. Watch out for our news, and please report all the innovation that you found or you made it yourself, you know, because inspiration is extremely important. And what more, we will help to develop your product further and develop you to be more efficient in your work, as well as probably become entrepreneurs. Now we're coming to our event today. In April, okay, so in April, I think precisely on the 9th of April, I was attending a talk, a seminar at the London, arranged by the London Speakers Bureau, and there was a panel on stage. It was hosted by this gentleman, and the panelist was a physicist, a futurist, a CEO from F1, and also the first winner of the Apprentice in the US, a celebrity. And the host was asking a very tough question to them, and it's go around chicken. The question was, which comes first, chicken or egg? You know, and the whole hall was filled with laughter. So I think this guy is perfect for YIM Teh Tarik. So today we have Jason Low. Oh, thank God! I thought he would be coming like this.
Check it out.
All right. Okay. But that's after lunch, right? Okay, that's after lunch. Okay, Jason, the floor is yours.
Okay.
All right.
What am I talking about? And how long am I going to talk for? Hi everyone, how are you? I don't really know what to talk about. I guess I'll just start with who I am and where I'm from. My name is Jason Low. I'm a porn star. I got into porn in 1998 under the name Rocco Siffredi. No, I'm only kidding, I'll just tell you a little bit about myself. I'm actually from Kuching, yeah? Kuching, Sabah. I always catch you Semenanjung brats, you know? Kuching, Sabah, very nice, Sabah, very nice. I'm not from Sabah. I thought Kuching is in the Sabah, no? No, that's Kota Kinabalu, you dumbass. Oh, sorry. I'm from Johor, actually. So, I was born and raised in Kuching, yeah. Back in an age when there was no internet, yeah. There was no handphones, you know. And in Kuching we didn't have Astro. It was really, really far back. We used to have shortwave radio, BBC. And that's how I used to listen to Chelsea versus Man U, yeah. Anybody listen to shortwave radio back then? Anybody? You're old. Just like me. You gave it away, man. And then I went over to United World College in Singapore. My father's Chinese, so you know, I have to send me to boarding school. I started boarding school, very good. Boarding school. And then it was in United World College that I met the most hated man in Malaysia, Karya Jamaluddin. Became best friends, hit it off right away. Now he's no longer hated, of course, Mr. now, you know. Not for long. One more term. So we became very good friends, and then after that I went to Brighton College to do my A-levels in the United Kingdom, and then I did a degree after that. My mom and dad always said, get your degree. You must get your degree, okay? I know the Chinese in the house also understand this, you must have degree, right? But I'll say it in Chinese, you must get degree. Okay? So, because my dad's Chinese, I'm only allowed to do the special 5 subjects lah. Yeah? Medicine, architecture, accounting, engineering, law. What's the last one? I thought there was another one. So I'm obviously very bad at accounting, which is why I chose accounting. So this is my dad, oh, my son, accountant, my son. So I actually never wanted to do accounting. I really don't like accounting. I'm sure it's very nice for people who enjoy things like that, but I really only did it to go to London and do music. Yeah? I was always doing music. I was writing music since I was young. Writing non-stop. I was writing music the night before my exams, you know? And I always did just enough to pass. Yeah. I wasn't really interested in it. And I think that's what a mistake a lot of parents make. Yeah. When I told my dad I wanted to do drama, he said, oh, drama, I can send you to UK, Ulu Klang. Yeah? I don't need to send you to United Kingdom. I said, what if I do accounting? Oh, accounting, okay, I send you to United Kingdom. So we get in a situation sometimes where we go by what our parents say. Yeah? But if any of you parents here today ever have a kid like me, first of all, you'd be damn lucky. But if you have a kid like me, I will tell you about entrepreneurship, okay? If your son or your daughter says to you, Dad, Mom, Dad, I want to be a rock star. Okay, don't be the typical Malaysian, you know, old dude say, no, cannot, no future. Let them go, let them try. Because to be a rock star, you have to start with a blank sheet of paper. On this blank sheet of paper, you have to actually write a song. So you have to write lyrics, okay? Now when you write lyrics, you have to play an instrument. It has to have a tune, you know? Right? If you can't play an instrument, you have to learn one. If you don't have one, you have to buy one. You have to dedicate yourself, put time, effort, and energy into it. Yeah? Now, let's say you've finally written your song and you learn how to play guitar. You need a band, right? So you need to do some human resource management. Yeah, you need to get a bunch of bands together, okay? You need to be a counselor because your drummer's on drugs all the time. Can't keep the beat. You say, bro, intervention, you know, you're just taking too much weed, bro. What are you talking about, man? This is just herbs. Look, man, Sampurna is not really herb, okay? So you have to do all these things and manage these brats, you know, people come late, all that. Then you need money. You need to do financing. You need to beg, borrow, and steal. Cannot steal, but beg and borrow for money so that you can rehearse and practice. Now, while you're rehearsing and practicing, you're getting better at your song, right? Then you got to record it. You got to record it. You got to find an engineer. You got to get excellent production levels. You need quality of operations. Yeah. So you need to be operationally sound to get some people together to create a CD. Now when you finish with that CD, you don't just sell the CD, right? You got to put a picture on it. Then you look at your band and you go, oh, yo, macam gemuk, yeah. Okay, guys. We are going to work out because we want to be marketable. So I'm going to market these guys, right? You're hot. Yes, you. Quite hot. She's like, sorry. You gotta market yourself, right? You gotta market yourself. So you got, because you know why? When you put your CD up there, you want people to go and go, oh, Linkin Park, Britney Spears, whoa, Avenged Sevenfold. Hey, low. I want this one. Why would people want to buy a CD, right? Because you gotta make sure you have a good song, you got a good promotion, you gotta go out there and beg the Jake man to put your music on the radio. Yeah, Faisal Tahir, same, has to beg. Beg, 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 beg. I beg you not to ban me. Just kidding. So, every step of the way, you are being an entrepreneur. Okay? And when your CD finally goes out there, and you don't get signed by EMI, and you fail, that's when you learn the most. So if your kid comes to you and wants to go into the creative industries, Daddy, I want to paint. Don't be the usual dad and say, no, no, cannot paint, no money, no money. I want you to do accounting. No, let them paint. Support them doing all these crazy things, because that's the only way we truly develop. Yeah. So I had the opportunity where my parents let me go out there. You know, I was doing my university degree. It was really cool. I mean, I was in UK. I was gigging, doing the scene in Camden Town, all this sort of thing. And then my dad called me up one day and said, "Okay, you finished your degree now? Well done. BSc accounting. Son, BSc accounting. Good, good. Number one. Come back to Malaysia. Ayo, Dad, can I stay here and just gig? No. You get a job or you come back to Malaysia." Oh my goodness. My words are strong. So I said, Dad, I want to do an MBA. Ooh, MBA. My son, MBA. BSc, MBA. We're good. So I went and did MBA in finance, just so I could stay in London and keep gigging. That lasted 18 months, and then I had to come back. Thankfully, when I did come back, I went to Synchro Sound Studios, where I once did a demo here. It was a studio under Dato' Fedi Nawawi at the time. And I learned how to produce. I got signed up by EMI, and I released my first album. And there was a song on it called Evening News. Yeah? It kind of goes, yoo-hoo, yeah? It's a crappy song, but anyway. Overnight, I suddenly had people shouting at me across the street, "Hello, you! Hello, you! Hello, you! Hello, you!" So overnight, I became superstar. Yeah? Suddenly, everywhere I went in Malaysia, "Hello! Hey, I thought you're not Malaysian. Is it true you're Malaysian?" "Yes." "Oh, I'm sorry." People were surprised that I came because, of course, I'm white. You know? I am white, by the way. I look white. You know? I just don't get out in the sun, so I'm not really tan. But all of a sudden, I was gigging, opening backstage, you know, opening for Deep Purple and Good Charlotte and Superstar, and living the rockstar. My words are too strong. So, imagine I didn't use those strong words. I should be a politician. So I was gigging everywhere and I was doing all this sort of thing, but I actually did set up my own record label called Fat Boys Records. Yeah? And one thing I didn't realize was that in the music industry in Malaysia, there is no money. There's no money. It's even worse than Yayasan, right? So we didn't get salaries. We actually paid salaries to invisible people. You have a salary, you know. Just pay people to produce our stuff, music videos, and promote our stuff. And then when the sales come in from EMI, we're like, "Ooh, first sale, 40,000 ringgit. Hey bro, how much do we spend on the music video?" We did 2 music videos, 60,000 ringgit. Tak cukup, eh? How come we do music video and then the check is so small? So I had a partner at that time, Nick. He was from Belgium, and my job was to go in the studio and produce albums. So I produced my music. I produced Disagree, Naked Breed, a whole host of other local bands, and Nick was doing the business side. Yeah, never run a business if you don't know exactly what's going on in the business. Yeah, everything. So one day, Nick left, and I opened the books, and I saw that we were in the red, to the tune of 300,000 ringgit. Yeah, the Chinese guys getting a heart attack already. Just kidding. I'm just making fun of you. It's not because you're Chinese. I make fun of Indians too. Are there any Indians in the house? There's two right there. There's just something Indian about you, I don't know what it is. अब कैसे है ठीक है? AG, OG, Noji, Sanoji, Mohammed Noji, 1 to go 4, 4 to go 1. Just trying to relate. Don't even get me started on the Malays, okay? Hey bro! Just kidding. Low dies, gets beaten up by Malays. So yes, 300,000 ringgit in debt, okay? You know, we own printers, we own music video guys, we own everything, CD manufacturers, and we had no business. So it was at this point where I kind of diversified from just doing my music to doing everything else. I was your bitch. If you wanted me to come to your house and wash your car, I would come to your car, I would come to your house, man, and I'll wash your damn car. I would do everything in my power to pay off this enormous debt. I even became an editor. Not many people know this, but the first infomercial for my card, the my card, was done by me. Okay? With some datin who came in and sat down and go, hello, can you make the card go around and zoom into the device and then the picture can come out? Yes, datin, it will take 3 hours to render. I go shopping, I come back later, okay, bye-bye. Last night I was opening for Deep Purple. And here I am, with that datin telling me what to do and editing, you know? Because we didn't have enough money to keep our editor. So I had to learn editing. I had to learn the whole entire book of Final Cut Pro. I did it in 2 weeks. I am an editing expert. I do all my friends' wedding videos now. I can edit in my sleep, okay? So I had to learn to diversify. And then when I would go to gigs, another interesting thing popped up because in Malaysia, they call you for a gig. Lo, come to a gig, Lo, come to a gig. So I go to the gig, then there's no drum set. I'm like, I have a band, we need to play. Oh, can you play -1? No, we're a rock band, we play rock. Oh, then you don't play lah? I said, okay, I don't play then. Oh, wait, the client is here, you must play. Can you get us a drum set? Okay. Okay, it's gonna cost you 2,000 though. Okay. And I learned, hey, I could actually become an event manager. So we created events, we did a lot of events. At Fat Boys, we were doing any little event. Birthday party, I would come with the speaker. Hey, no problem. Hey, Lo, what happened to you, man? My company is a event company, and here's some speakers. That'll be $500, thank you. So, anything that I could do to crawl out of this debt slowly and slowly. And it actually did get pretty bad. It got really bad. One of the lowest points in my life is when I was working on a festival called Rock the World. Rock the World is a local music festival in Malaysia. It's 12 years running. It's the biggest local rock festival, and we created it. And I recall I was out at a car park looking for a potential venue for Rock the World, and Zaid, my number 2, calls me up and he says, and this is a famous story I tell everyone because I'm looking for this. He calls me up and says, our electricity got cut. I said, damn it, what's wrong with Tenaga? Was it a blackout? Did BN win? So, good thing BM's not here. So I told Zain, I said, look around the office for something to sell. Like you do here at Yayasan sometimes, right? Yeah. So Zain said, I'll call you back. And he looked around the office. And I thought he'd call me back, oh, we have a computer, we have a server, you know. Instead he called me back and said, I found something. I said, what? Your guitar. I said, I only had 2 guitars, right? One is my Fender Stratocaster. The other one is my Fender Telecaster, American edition. Signed by Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, Eric Johnson, G3, otherwise known as G3, and also Steve Morse, who is the lead guitarist for Deep Purple, because you know I was superstar, hanging backstage, what's up? Nobody knew I was 300,000 ringgit in debt, but I was like, what's up, man? Hey, what's up, aight? You know, I'm too fat, aight? So I was getting these guys sign my guitars, and I don't know what came over me. I just said, okay, let's sell it. And stupid me, I'm so stupid. This is very uninnovative, okay? instead of selling on eBay, I want the money right away. I said, come, let's go to Cash Converters, Cyberjaya. All those, yeah. And so I went to Cash Converters, right? I drove there in my Satria, drove there, you know. My Satria with, I think the front came from somewhere else, the back was another car. Then we went to Cash Converters. And I said, Zaid, I can't go inside lah. Malu, I'm superstar. I'm superstar, right? So I said, I can't go inside. You go and sell my guitar for me. So he went inside to sell the guitar. And then 5 minutes later, he came back with the guitar. And he said, let's go. I said, why? He said, they won't give you a lot of money for it. I said, what? I'm only asking for 9,000. I bought it for 5,000. It's got Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, and Eric Johnson, and Steve Morse's signature on it, man. He said, they only offer you 900. I said, 900 ringgit, mother, what? Bloody. I was so upset. I said, go and sell! Go and sell! So he went inside to sell my guitar, my beloved Fender Telecaster. And I was sitting alone in the car by myself, and it rained. But it only rained on my car. Everywhere else is like sunny. That's right. So I was sitting in my car and I was like, stupid. I was crying like. Then Zaid came back. Zaid gave me the 900 ringgit. I said, here's Zaid, here's 200 ringgit, pay the electricity. Here's 200 ringgit, pay the telecom, just in case our phone line gets cut. Here's 300 ringgit for you, Zaid, because I know you haven't been paid in 3 months. Thank God you live at home with your parents. That's for you. And the last 200 ringgit, I said, Joe, let's go to Subang for buffet. So we drove to Subang. We went to the Sheraton, we went downstairs. I remember walking up and the guy was there. Hi, hello. I said, we're here for the buffet. Oh, 6 o'clock, it's 5:50. I said, don't mess with me today, man. Okay, 99 plus. So I'll give you $200. Freaking take the money. Okay. And I went straight for the oysters and the salmon and all the food. You know, don't touch the rice. You get your money's worth for the buffet, right? You go, you eat those oysters and the salmon and the prawns. I mean, screw the rice, man. You want rice? Go to Mama next door. You go for that expensive shit, man. So I was there eating, eating like kings. And I swear, something happened during that buffet. Because the next day, I was offered a job. I was down at Hits.fm, yeah, talking to the Jake Man about Rock the World. And Jake Man says, hey Jello, Flying Kev just left the radio. You want to come and join us on the morning show, breakfast show? I said, Jake, I'm rockstar, superstar. I don't want to be doing radio. Come on, people will be like, what's going on? I'll pay you 8,000 ringgit a month. Maybe I try lah. So, the next morning, I was suddenly, boom, today's hit music, the all new hit stuff. What's going on? Hey, it's J-Lo here. Oh, Britney Spears' hair is all gone. Man, I wonder if the only hair that went was on her head. Here she is with stronger. You know, that's what I did. I was on radio, I was a DJ on radio. You know? I knew no shame. And worse even, Jake Man made me really kill my shame. Jello, I want you to go down to the toll plaza at Sunway. Here's some flyers for you and Rudy. The new Rudy and Jello show. Or Jello and Rudy show. I said, toll plaza? Yeah, just go. I said, hey dude, you wouldn't ask Siti Nurhaliza to go to a toll plaza, right? Hey, dude, you know Siti Nurhaliza. Okay, boss. So there I was in traffic, you know, and I can tell you it was hard. Almost getting myself killed, you know, running, dodging the smart tag. And I tell you, I'm giving out flyers, knocking on windows, and I can see people. Hey, opening for the Good Charlotte. Now you are here and working at the Top Plaza. No, I have a new radio show. It's me and Rudy, and we can hit Star FM and dulu. So I can tell you, I have no more shame. It's all gone. Yeah. I even brought down. We started to crawl back into the black. We started to pay things off. After that, I also got a job offer at ATV. I was with Izam Omar and Paul Moss, and they said, "Why don't we do a variety show? Let's get a show together. Let's make it local. Let's do like David Letterman, Jay Leno style. You can, you want you to be the host, da da da." I said, "Fine, I said, "That's cool," and we did that. And after that, I also created my team, a football reality show I created with Minister of Youth and Sports, Kari Jamaluddin, my bro, and we created the most successful reality show that Malaysia's ever seen. Yeah, we got a whole bunch of kids together. We actually ran trials. Anybody could try out to become part of my team, train, and go up against the Malaysian national side. Yeah, it's very, very controversial. A lot of people talking a lot of crap about it. It was even came out in Parliament. It was big, and we found all these kids, these kids who had never been given opportunity to play football, And today there are 8 my team players playing in Super League. One of them is Azim Muslim, who plays on the national side. He was driving forklifts when we found him. Yeah, he'd never been on an airplane before. Before he went to the airplane, he took his shoes off. We got off in Manchester. He was like, "Where's my shoe?" I said, "Bro, you don't understand concept. Ini kapal terbang. We left from Malaysia. Malaysia's over there. Your kasut is gone." Okay? I tanya. So we really had this amazing turn of events. All these things started to happen for me in my life, and Fat Boys started to crawl back, get bigger jobs. We did Rock the World, and Fat Boys became much bigger. And today they do annual revenues of roughly between 5 or 6 million ringgit, making Fat Boys one of the biggest event organizers, event companies in Malaysia. So all this leads me to tell you one thing: when things get bad, and they will get bad, make sure you go for the damn buffet. I swear. There's something about that buffet in Subang now. I don't know where, it's not Sheraton anymore, right? It's, what is it now? Dorset, yeah? Go for that buffet. It's a magic buffet. Yeah? Down and out, makan buffet, job offer, TV and all this sort of thing, All these things started to happen for me, and I was still releasing music, still able to do music and all that, And throughout this time, I'll just come to where I am now. Throughout this time, I always knew a guy called Tony Fernandez, right? Yeah. Short, fat Indian chap. So I knew Tony from years ago when I was recording my first album. I remember coming out, I asked Tony to help me a long time ago, before I even managed to get on the music scene, to help me in the UK. And he used to help me in the United Kingdom, write a letter to Warner, say, "This is one of our local musicians, can he meet you, can he try out, So I've always held Tony in high regard. He's always helped me when I was really not even a musician. And I remember that time I came out of I was recording my first album, just doing drums, came out and Tony was sitting there, looking forlorn. I said, "Tony, what's up? Why do you look so unhappy?" He said, "Music industry sucks." I said, "What are you gonna do about it? You're the head of Warner Regional." He's like, "I'm gonna start a budget airline." What? You're Indian. Bro, this Malaysia, you gotta be Melayu, man. That time Tun Mahathir 2 PM, Mahathir only allow Melayu, Orang India tapi senang, Maybe you can change your name to Muhammad or something. To Abdullah Fernandez. No, I'm gonna try it. And he set up his airline. And damn it, if I only had a time machine to go back and say shut the hell up and give him something for some tiny shares in AirAsia. But how was I to know? Well, I mean, how was anyone to know? And of course, exactly. So, you're right, I hadn't been to the buffet yet. So, if anybody sees my guitar, by the way, yeah, please let me know. I want to buy it back.
100,000.
Do you have it? I'm stupid, but not that stupid. I give you 6 grand for it. So, I was playing futsal with Tony one night, and he comes up to me and says, Jace, Tony's, by the way, do not play football with this guy. He is a ruthless, competitive businessman. On the field, he's even worse. He doesn't actually play with the ball. He looks at your legs. So if you have a ball and this guy's running towards you, 200 pounds of pure Indian meat, running towards you, right? And you pass the ball goes that way, but Tony Fernandez doesn't go that way, right? He will go straight at you. Until BAM, you know? So he comes up to me at futsal after he broke my leg, and he's like, Jace, I want you to come and work for a tune group. What do you think about coming, joining us and setting up our mobile company? I said, Tony, I don't know anything about mobile. Well, I didn't know anything about airplanes. That's a good point. And now you're a billionaire. Maybe I'll try. And I jumped into what is one of the biggest industries in Malaysia, the telecommunications sector. If I could survive for 10 years in the local music scene with dwindling sales, yeah? In 1996, we did 160 million CD sales, CD and cassette sales in Malaysia. In 1999, that became 16 million. Where did the other 142 million go? Does anybody know? It went up in smoke because of piracy, file sharing. You know, you guys know Kaza and Napster. You're all guilty. And our home at SS2. One DVD, I want to do about the best of music, best of local. So, I don't mean to be, I'm not being rude to the Chinese guys, just a lot of DVD sellers I know are named Ah Hong. I know you didn't mean to, right? So, I never buy 5-star, by the way. I download it. So, I jumped into the deep end, right? I didn't know anything about telco, really. But I have been on the boardroom floor of every single telecommunications company in Malaysia, begging for money. Yeah? I was on my knees with Dato' Wahid, begging TM to sponsor Rock the World. I was on my knees in Digi, begging Digi to sponsor Pesta Malam Indonesia. I was on my knees at Hotlink. I begged all these guys. And suddenly, I became the CEO of Tune Talk, a Tony Fernandez company. And all these guys call me up and say, is this some joke? You are, but you're stupid. So it was kind of a shock to the industry when I jumped into the deep end. But thank God for Wikipedia, because I can tell you, I was in meetings, like in negotiations, with my Wikipedia on. Excuse me, can you just tell me, when the HLR, you know, the CDRs and the HLR, when they actually cross-check and we do some sort of a comparison, how do we show that the numbers will match up? And they'll be like, well, Jason, stupid rock star, whatever. So I would actually learn everything on Wikipedia, everything. Never before in the history of mankind. My serious moment's gone. Never before in the history of mankind. So, never before has information been so readily available to all of us. Now imagine the impact that is making on our lives. A lot of it is invisible. Yeah? Don't cry, baby. Don't cry. La la. Eh-oh. Anyway. I managed to get so much information off the net. I managed to learn a lot of how things work. And it helped me a lot, actually. The resource that the net is was fantastic for me. So in this day and age, what I want to impress upon you is this. For innovation. Yeah? For innovation is very important. I want you all to imagine for a moment. Because people ask me about innovation. Everyone always asks me, how can I be innovation? I don't think you can be innovation, bro. What are you studying? I'm studying innovation. You're doing a bachelor's in innovation? Yeah! Wow, I didn't know you teach innovation like that, but I want you to imagine for a moment that you're a dato. Okay? You might be a dato in this room, but if you're not, imagine you're a dato. So you're pretty fat, yeah? I didn't think it was that funny. Don't you hate it in the cinema when you're the only one to get a joke? And then nobody else laughs, and you're like... So you're a fat dato, okay? Fat dato, okay? You have a mistress who lives in Ampang in a house that you rent for her. Okay? Just getting the dato shit happening, okay? And you're sitting there in the Inovasi Malaysia, okay? You're sitting there. And then some guy comes up to you, some young guy. Let's pick an Indian guy, young Indian guy. Okay? Comes up to you and says, hello dato, today we're going to talk about our new innovation. It is a video game. Okay, we have a slingshot on one side, you know, and a red, yellow, and blue bird. We're going to shoot the blue bird into a structure, and the structure is going to fall down. And when the structure falls down, inside is a green pig, and the green pig is going to explode. Dato, I need $1 million US to make this happen. Ni haram ni. Babi hijau. Maybe you can change instead the green pig. You make a green anwar. Then I will think about it. You know, it sounds pretty stupid and far-fetched, right? When you think about it, a game that had 500 million downloads on iOS and Android. Yeah. If you think about it, who the hell would have funded that game? Yeah? This is often what stops innovation. And why Malaysia is not exactly an innovation haven, because we don't have disposable income to throw like that. You know? The Americans are not the smartest people at all. Yeah? Hell no. They ain't smart. But they rank #1 on the confidence chart. Yeah? All graduates who come out universities and colleges in the US do not rank the highest. They're not even in the top 10 in terms of intellect. Some of them can't read. Some of them play football. But the confidence is the highest. And that goes back to the fact that America is a credit-driven society. Yeah? Asia is a savings-driven society. We are much more careful with our money. America is, yeehaw, like to throw it around. And take away what you will, I totally disagree with Dr. M when he says that America is the devil and all that. Economies are driven by companies. And take away the subprime mortgage crisis and all the rest of the stuff that happens with, you know, ill-fated regulatory issues. America still has the most innovative companies in the world. And we are all very quick to judge. Yeah? When BlackBerry went down, everyone, hey, BlackBerry, lousy la, lousy la. When Nokia went down, hey, Nokia, lousy la. We are way too quick to judge. Innovation is constantly happening in these amazing companies. You know, you've got IBM here, you've got Nokia, you've got BlackBerry. Everyone is so ready to kill BlackBerry. But you know, BlackBerry developed an entirely new OS. It's a damn good OS. You can watch porn on it. Yeah? It's not easy to create your own OS. It's not. It is a lot of work. And they have done an amazing job. Yeah? A few bugs, fine, but you know, they've done a fantastic job. We are often too quick to judge. Malaysians in that sense, I believe, are quite kind of naive. Yeah, we take what we're being fed, yeah, and it comes out the other end, and we accept that it's brown. It could be green, yeah. We accept a lot of things, and we shouldn't be naive, especially with our mobile bills, because Maxis and Digi are screwing y'all. Yeah, they are screwing you, man. I meet people like, Maxis is a good company, dude. They made 2.3 billion ringgit profit after tax. What's good about that? Did they do that with the lowest rates? No. They made so much money, yeah. Yes, they did. Really, yeah. Wow. Maybe I should change. Yeah. I'll tell you a story. This is a true story. Honestly. Excuse me. So, I was sitting in David's corner, right? And I was sitting in David's corner, and this guy comes up to me wearing a Digi shirt, you know? Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Hello, sir. Hello, hello. Yeah, he's Chinese. Hello, sir. Hello. Sir, are you using the Digi, sir? I use the Digi, sir. I said, no, I'm not using Digi. Oh, thank you. No more aircon. Cheapskates. Just kidding. So, no, it's good to save money. So he's like, I use the Digi. I said, no. Tell me about Digi. He opens a chart. He opens a chart for me. Yeah? It has, Hotlink, Digi. It has Xpacks, U-Mobile, and TuneTalk. Okay. I said, look sir, the Hotlink sir. Hotlink is like 33 cents, sir. 33 cents, sir. Look at the Digi, sir. The Digi is only 12 cents, sir. 12 cents. Even the TuneTalk is 16 cents, sir. Digi is only 12 cents, sir. I said, wow. Well, but there's an asterisk next to the 12. What does that mean? Sir, the asterisk, sir, is a mean you have to hit 1 ringgit, sir. 1 ringgit, then we give you the 12 cent, 12 cent, very cheap, 12. Okay, so I spend 1 ringgit a day. What rate is that 1 ringgit at? Huh? Sir, the rate of the 1 ringgit, sir, is a 36 cent, 36 cent. Wait a minute, so you want me to pay 1 ringgit a day, or 30 ringgit a month, at the highest rate in the market, before you give me 12 cent? Yeah lah, huh? Actually, he's quite spent. And your SMS rate is very high also. It's a 7 cent. Look at you, it's only 5 cents. None of this, asterisks and all that. And look at your data. Your pay-per-use data. 10 cents for 10 kilobyte. Sounds very cheap. Yes, sir. 10 cents for 10 kilobyte. Very cheap, sir. How much is that per megabyte? I'll tell you. It's 10 ringgit per megabyte. Yeah, it's 10 ringgit per megabyte. Do you know how much that is in gigabytes? Indians? How many, if 10 ringgit per megabyte, how much 1 gigabyte? Huh? Sorry? It's like we're back in class. Awesome. Cikgu, 2,000. Nobody want to expose. If it's 10 ringgit per megabyte, how much is it for a gigabyte? Huh? Close. Again. That's right. 10. Who said 10,000? At the back. Nice voice. At the back. Don't miss. 10,000 ringgit for 1 gigabyte. Do you know that? It's real. Go and look at hotlink.com and find out how much pay-per-use is. That's why when you get package, 68 ringgit for 3 gigabyte. Oh, I got package. They just want to commoditize you. You are all palm oil trees in this commoditized industry, giving people fixed income, boom, 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 boom. And Malaysians do not empower ourselves. We pay the highest mobile rates in the world. Even England pays less than we do. Her Majesty only pays 1 penny a minute. 1 penny a minute times 5 is only 5 cents a minute. Over here we're paying at least 12, 18, 30 cents. Yeah? If you use mobile, you're paying more. But, if you use Digi, you pay a lot. 30 cents a minute. Why do we pay so much? because we Malaysian lah. I don't care lah, just pay lah. We should empower ourselves. Yeah? Innovation is the same. Yeah? We need to empower ourselves. And in this day and age, you can go and learn how to make, instead of angry birds, let's make angry women. Why not? Instead of the red, blue, black bird, you just have red, you know, red hair, blonde, you know, the black girl can explode, you know, and instead of the green pig, yeah, we'll have guys sitting watching TV with beer, yeah, and we'll call it angry women. Now, why can't Malaysia do that? We can do it, but we need to get past ourselves. It's the most important thing, yeah. And don't go expecting to get a loan from CIMB or RSB. I know how hard it is. You want a loan for ringgit? Give me ringgit. Yeah, kind of defeats the purpose. Yeah? But the government does have a lot of avenues up there for innovation funds. You know, we have SME and all this sort of thing. But everyone thinks it's who you know, it's who you know. I guarantee if you really do focus on a really good plan it well, you will be able to get funding. You know, we do live in an environment. Trust me, I've been to Thailand. Yeah. If you look at Malaysia compared to Thailand, we are like, wow. We are regulated properly, we have structure, you know, we have, you know, Black 5-0, whatever, happening this weekend. Funny elections. But you know, we have an environment where we are encouraged to thrive. I actually think that the Yayasan Inovasi is surprising because there's somebody here who actually cares about innovation, yeah? And we need more of that. We definitely need more of that. We need to come together as an innovative community. And innovation starts, a lot of it starts from the creative process, from creative industries. And one thing that Malaysia tends not to do is we don't put enough money into the creative industries, into our arts, you know, things like that, because no ROI. Roy is the evil. Roy is the devil, yeah? Yeah, I think it was in the Bible. Roy is there somewhere. And then Roy rose. You know? Return on investment. If you want return on investment, then don't do anything. Because, you know, you can't have immediate return on investment. You know? It takes a while. Yeah? Now, instead of Roy, we have EBITDA. EBITDA. Yeah? I know EBITDA sounds like some weird guy from Kazakhstan. Hello, my name is EBITDA. Nice to meet you. You know? EBITDA, earnings before interest and all the other stuff you have to pay anyway. Yeah? Let's pretend it's earnings. You know? The next one that's coming is PAT, P-A-T. Hello, my name is Pat. Yeah? Profit after tax. We tend to throw around a lot of big terminology, a lot of big things. You know, we throw around a lot of ideas. But what we really need to do is to get down and do things and get it done. Yeah? And technology is part of our lives now in a big way. It will always be part of our lives. And the way you can stay ahead, stay focused, is to maintain a bird's eye view on technology at all times. Consider this. Nokia, okay, was the leading smartphone in the 90s. Okay? Symbian was everywhere. Nokia was #1. And then what happened? BlackBerry came out. BlackBerry came out with something called BBM. Yeah? BBM is basically a sexual messaging service. Yeah? If I meet a girl in the club and I get a number, I might manage to get like 3 or 4 SMSs between us. But if I get a BBM, it's like our brains are linked. Yeah? And I will have sex with her. Definitely. Because you're just constantly linked. Hi, what are you doing? Eating. Oh, I'm eating too. What are you eating? Beans. You're hot. That's how I lead. That's my style. I lead into it like that. Yeah? So you catch them off guard. What do you mean I'm hot? How hot am I? Sizzling, baby. Then you send a picture of like a sizzling steak or something. That's how hot you are. Oh, really? This is how hot you are. Then she sends me a picture of like a Ford Mustang. Then I send her a picture of the sun. I'm like, don't mess. You are hot. So BlackBerry came out, and then Nokia died. And then BlackBerry was #1. And then those guys at RIM were complacent. Complacency is the enemy of innovation. Almost as bad as Roy, okay? All the guys at RIM, I remember when we first started Tune Talk, right? I was calling RIM. I was calling RIM. RIM are the owners of BlackBerry. Calling them, writing to them, no response. Why? Small company, not Maxis, don't bother. Yeah? Suddenly, shaky, going down, woo! Finally RIM called us back. And we did a deal and we launched BlackBerry with them. Yeah? It's amazing. Suddenly when they were in trouble, managed to talk. Yeah? But then, because RIM was flying high, suddenly a guy called Steve Jobs said, I want to create something. And I'm going to create it without a keypad. And here it is, the iPhone. iOS eclipsed BlackBerry and Nokia in the US. It took them 2 years. Boom. It became #1. And just as we thought it was okay to go back to bed, another company with a bigger muscle called Google said, I'm going to do open source. I'm going to do open source and kill all you guys. And Android was born. And overnight, in 18 months, Android became the #1 OS in the world. Now consider how fast that's been happening. Okay, we only had TVs, really, in 1960s, 1930s, and all that. We only went from TVs in the last 100 years. Now we have 20 TVs on our phones. Yeah, it's happening faster, guys. It's accelerating, is what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm not just here to say technology is coming. It's coming at a rapid pace. Yeah, so rapid right now that before you're even using Facebook and Twitter came out, now it's Kik and it's Snap Talk and all this. Everything is coming out, and you are going to lose yourself because you're going to lose the focus. You won't be able to catch up. You won't be able to keep up. Yeah? And there's so much opportunity out there. There's so much opportunity. Look at Kik. I mean, Kik is a video, so it's like a video Twitter. Take a video, 32 seconds, post it, that's it. Boom. Huge. What could you possibly do? What is your Angry Birds? Yeah? Think about that. And then go and do it. Because if you have a lot of ideas and you don't do anything, then no point. The Dalai Lama said, when asked, what's the meaning of life? He said, to be useful. Yeah? And I always think that's something that I hold as a mantra as well. Because I believe when you stop being useful, you stop learning, then it's time to die, really. Might as well. You know? So anyway, hello, you're young. What game are you playing these days? Candy Crush?
Minecraft.
Minecraft? I see. How about on PS3? No PS3? What is up with you? I keep telling women you must buy the kids PS3. Don't worry, the PS4's coming out soon. Wait for that one. You can buy the pirate one coming out soon. So, thank you very much for having me today, the Lyrical Fighter. I don't know if I've given all my lyrics. How long am I supposed to talk for?
There's a Q&A.
Oh, there's a Q&A. Good. We can do Q&A. Q&A, yeah. So, that's my little story. I was only kidding about the porn thing. Yeah. And I didn't vote. I didn't vote. I won't vote until I'm an equal citizen. Yeah, put that in your camera. So, any questions for me?
Before that, give a big round of applause.
Thank you, very kind, very kind. Yes, I am a sex therapist.
What makes this in such deep trouble?
Deep trouble?
Yeah. What's your view?
I don't know what trouble you're referring to, actually. I mean, they're a multi-billion-dollar company. Are you talking about the CEO? Oh, this is on record. I think Max is a very innovative company. I mean, non-Christian companies are very well run. I worked in one, Astro. I can tell you that from the HR side. Sorry, what was your name? Where are you from?
I'm Aziz from Alpha Catalyst.
What catalysts are you working on? Is it always an alpha, or do you actually do go to beta? Sorry. Maybe you could change the name to Alpha to Beta Catalyst. Why are we always in Alpha? Actually, production. Our name is Alpha, sir. I see. Nobody gets that, right? No, you don't get that? No techies? Okay. Sorry. I think AK companies are run very well. I think Maxis is incredibly innovative, but I believe that they're in a bit of a state of flux at the moment because they don't have a CEO. They have joint CEOs. Johan was supposed to join, the ex-Digi CEO. I think I remember a time a few years ago, I'd say about 3 or 4 years ago, where Hotlink was very vibrant, had a real definite brand identity and direction. You know, they were young, youthful, they were slightly Chinese, you know, but they had this excellence written all over them. And I felt that they've kind of lost their way. It probably has something to do with corporate culture. Not to take anything away from Sunny Das, you know, but this is a company that's listed, delisted, listed again, listed again. It seems to be that yo-yo thing that make money, make money. I wouldn't put much past them because they're quite heavily embedded in the channel. The sales channels, a lot of their dealers are loyal dealers. They do reward them quite well. I think in terms of operational effectiveness, they're very effective, as evidenced by their high ARPU, because Maxis is #1, perceived actually, although I think #1 is Socom right now, in terms of numbers. But I don't think anything's really wrong, but I do believe that you, personally, my personal view, I believe you need one CEO to be singularly accountable to the board. Otherwise, you will just be like, it's him! Oh, that was his idea. That was my idea. You know, you know that kind of thing. So, not suggesting that they're not telling how to do their job, but I think that corporate culture also is very important. And I do think that Maxis had a kind of a corporate feel about them. I've been to Maxis office myself. The cubicles are all they're 11 feet high. You can't see where you are and who's in the office. But that's their corporate culture. Who am I to argue with that? I mean, at Tune Talk we have no cubicles that high. Everyone can see everyone, and we all have Nerf guns. We shoot each other. So we have a different culture, you know, that Maxis does. But I do think that there's definitely a lot of. You see, I'm a firm believer in building communities, and I believe that the telcos they kind of lack that kind of innovative ideology where instead of telling people, instead of actually doing something real, they'd rather do a billboard and show you how, you know, here's a billboard, use U-Mobile and you'll get laid. Yeah? Use U-Mobile, you get laid, you'll have sex. I don't do that. I would rather us actually have an event where people come and they do get laid, for real. Not pretend, yeah? So that's what I mean when I am talking about building communities. When you build communities, imagine if I took the A&P budget from Maxis, Digi and Celcom together, you know, rounded up, it's probably about R500 million ringgit. Now, just imagine what you could do in terms of community building for that kind of money. Yeah, forget Nicole David and squash. Yeah. I mean, you could go much, much further than that. You could build entire communities. You could make them sustainable. So I think that Malaysia tends to have an issue with things like CSR programs. We often look at CSR and think, oh, get someone to head up CSR and give them 2% of our A&P budget. CSR. Who cares about kidneys, you know? But in the West, it's changing. Because people realize that when you invest in brand and all that, if you're not community driven, the recall is much lower. So their CSR programs often account for 30% of their budget. And that's what we should be doing. And I think that's probably where Maxis became a little corporate and a little safe, I felt. Same thing with Digi. I think Digi was much more exciting when Morton was the CEO and we had the Yellow Man coming out and all that. Thank goodness he left, because it allowed Tune Talk to come in with a tiny little budget of 12 million ringgit a year and actually make some sort of inroads to reach our youth audience, you know, to have people perceive our brand. So for us, it's all about community building, and I think that the big telcos should consider moving into this direction.
Talking about sustainability.
What's your name and where are you from?
I'm Azam. Me and my friends run this music online portal called theweekend.com.
Okay.
And Well, you mentioned that there's no money in music, and you moved on to the gentleman's question about sustainability and developing communities. I was wondering, you being in your capacity now, do you still think about music or the music industry?
Good question. I think about music all the time. All the time. Music's very dear to my heart, very close to my heart, very close to Tony Fernandez's heart. I moved my studio into my house, and I'm constantly recording. I wrote a song last night called, 2 nights ago I wrote a song called Disco. I wanna play a little disco. Let me give me some rock and roll. Anyway, so I'm constantly recording by myself. But I also run a company, which has a board. And I don't quite want to release my album, my 4th album yet, until Tune Talk is flying high. Until we've done our $1 billion IPO. Then I'll be like, okay, I can go in, you know. So I have to balance, you know, my professional approach with, because I don't want my board to say, hey, how come you play music all over the place? No wonder the business is going down. I don't want that. I don't want that. I want to be focused on what I'm focused on right now. And I've been fortunate enough to experience music in a way that I don't necessarily crave certain parts of it anymore. I don't want necessarily to open for such and such a band. I've always been doing music for the love of it. I always did want to experience playing in front of a big crowd, and, you know, and doing the whole music thing. From the guy with the deep voice, right at the back.
Mohan from Intellectual Property Tiger.
Hi Mohan. Intellectual property in Malaysia. Must be a big business.
It's something I've heard of. The interesting talk is that you need to share with us innovative approaches that you've taken in your business, in your line of business. Whether you have also invested in R&D, probably. How approaches, new approaches in running your business?
Okay, thank you. Well, when I first started at Tune Talk, Tony Fernandez wasn't looking for a telco guy. I don't know why. I did work with him before, so I suppose from a managerial point of view, he kind of understood me. We have a very open kind of relationship between Talk. Our staff are wonderful. You know, we have the corporate culture is very important to me. I believe that corporate culture. I'm the custodian of the brand as a CEO, so the brand reflects a lot of things that I do. If I like golf, hey, suddenly we're doing a lot of golf, right? That's how it naturally works out usually. So one thing I do try to instill is I try to make sure that the foundations are correct. And foundation for business for me is this. You have to have as much insourcing as possible. I don't want to outsource things like customer care. Yeah? Customer care is very important to me. And in Malaysia, I think people do not place an emphasis on customer care enough. They give it to some Filipino company or some Indian company, hey, handle my customer care. Yeah? And that to me takes a lot of innovative ideas away. Because I'm constantly going to customer care, back and forth, talking to them, guys, what do you think about this, what do you think of this idea? You know, they're on the front lines. They're handling all the complaints. And we graduate kids from customer care to finance, to sales, to marketing, to technology, to IT. Everyone comes from customer care. So we do a lot of insourcing. When people come to me at Tune Talk and say, I want to join Tune Talk, first thing I say is, I'll give you a job at customer care. You know, right away, I can give you a job right now at customer care. Go on the front line. Then after you feel that you've learned about business, come to me and say, look, I want to do this, I want to do that. You know, part of that allows us to continuously eat, breathe, and sleep the youth with the youth. Not that I do sleep with the youth, but I occasionally do. And I don't mean under 18. I don't know how I got on that track. So at Tune Talk, we created a very unique product. When we were negotiating with Samsung, we made sure that we were going to be the market leader in price, and we are. Everyone who joins Tune Talk always figures out after a while, wow, my mobile bills are cut in half. Roughly about 50% or more they save. But the telco business moves like a glacier. Yeah? It takes a long time to develop new systems. These are very big systems we're developing. and I got my hands dirty. I went into the systems and built things like, for instance, every time you top up your TuTalk service, we give you points. These points never expire. They can be converted to free flights on AirAsia to any destination. We have guys flying every week to, Gold Coast, to Japan, to Penang. And it's as simple as, when you top up 100 ringgit, we give you 240 points. For 2,000 points, you can fly anywhere in Malaysia. Yeah? That was an easy idea to conceptualize. The reason why I wanted to do that is because I spoke to customer care about their services, and I figured out that they don't give really any goodies. Yeah, Digi gives you some birthday bonus and stuff like that, But I wanted to give you something really, really unique. And now those points, aside from flights, have moved into devices. So you can get a Z10 for 24,000 points, right? Something like that. Q10 as well. So we're now allowing these points to be convertible, because loyalty in Malaysia, I feel, is also done very poorly. I was a Maxis customer for years. Must have spent a bomb with them. When I lost my phone, I went to Maxis and said, "You think you guys can spot me a new phone?" We don't do that at Maxis. We're 2.3 billion ringgit PAT, man. We didn't get there by giving away free phones. Yeah? So very often I think that we tend to forget the customer. And what we do at TuTalk is, culturally, we hold the customer right in the center of everything we do. The customer experience is very important. I myself am probably the only CEO who's directly accessible on Twitter. I don't think Shazali tweets. I don't think any of the other CEOs tweet, but I am directly accessible. I answer calls personally from old Indian ladies who say, "I only want to speak to a CEO. I don't want to speak to anybody else." I'm not making fun of Indians, but it's the real story. So I say, "Hi, Mrs. Siva, how are you?" "Jason, I made a call last week, and I couldn't hear the other side. And you still charge me for it." I say, "Amma, I will rebate your 3 ringgit and 80 cent. Can you come to my house? I want to talk to you." "What do you want to talk to me about?" "You bring SIM card." So I will personally go to the house and I'll deliver a SIM card for her and her husband. Why does she want to talk to me? She wants unlimited validity for her husband. And to get my card. And tell all her friends, "See, the CEO come to my house. Personally, his number." So I would get on the ground and I would get my hands dirty, have a personal relationship with dealers. I get customers who are accessing me on Twitter and saying, "I can't find a top up here or there." And I would personally deal with these guys. Personally. Get on Twitter, talk to them, find out from my dealer where the nearest top up is, give them the address, do it all on Twitter, so that everyone can see as well that we are completely accessible. And I think that reflects Tony Fernandez as well, When somebody says to Tony, "I lost my bag on my Sabah flight," he would actually retweet that. I often ask him, "Tony, why do you retweet bad news? I lost my bag on a flight?" And he says, "Well, I think it happens, and I don't hide away from it, We want to be very transparent in Team Group and very accessible. And I think the more we do that, the more it reflects the brand. So from a servicing point of view, the way TuTalk does it is completely different. We don't necessarily, we have 700,000 subscribers. It's a lot of people to take care of, a lot of people. And I do get people just coming at me on Twitter sometimes if, data issue in Kupong, I'm like, "I'm so sorry, I'll find out where it is." So I'm constantly working, But that's how we stand out. And our services are better, I think our packages are better, cheaper, It's not just about being cheaper. It's about standing out, Everyone likes the Ironing Man. Have anybody seen the Ironing Man? Yeah, not my idea. But it just helps us stand out a little differently. It was actually Tony who talked to our marketing team and said, "Use Jason, I want you to use him." I was with him, I said, "No, don't use me, please don't use him. "No, Tony, I don't want to be used. I want you on a billboard." "Oh, really?" Well, try. So I think everything's been done to death in terms of telco. R&D, thank goodness we don't have to worry about it anymore. The telcos used to do a lot of R&D. But now, it's the guys who manufacture the handsets. These are the guys that spend on R&D. Yeah? All we have to do is be a dumb pipe. Yeah? But, this is the question. You want to be a good dumb pipe or a good smart pipe? Or a bad smart pipe? Yeah? I believe personally that it's just up to us to make sure the SLAs are achieved and we deliver a solid service. Let everyone else play around with all the Angry Bird stuff. Yeah? We just need to deliver a solid basic service to our subscribers. With some innovation worked in, fine. But we don't have to go crazy over it. Yeah? So I think that's the stance of most telcos right now. It is more cost effective, but as well as that, a lot of guys are trying to play too hard. You know? You're never going to tell where the next Angry Bird is going to come from. It definitely ain't going to come from ISIS. Yeah? It's going to come from a small little company hidden somewhere in Kapong. We're going to create the next big Angry Birds, and that's going to explode. You know? This is a very big long tail game, and I definitely think it's not our place to get into the long tail game. We just need to make sure that we give you solid data, that it's not fluctuating, that the speeds are getting higher, and then the customer service is there. So if we have an issue, take care of it. And that's going back to basics, which in a sense, in this day and age, is very, very innovative. Because I know some of these bigger companies will outsource stuff, don't think about that. Yeah? So on every aspect, everything we do, we have to be more innovative. Because we're up against $500 million ringgit from Maxis Digital Celcom trying to brainwash everyone so that they don't know what they're paying for. And we, with our tiny 15 million ringgit, have to cut through all that. How can we cut through all that? By doing things like that. You know? Mixed martial arts. It's the fastest growing... Oh, my technical guy's calling me. Damn it, do we have an issue? So we have to try to do things that are different, because the mixed martial arts community is growing. It's growing very, very big. You know, last week we were supposed to have Padamova was supposed to have the rally, and I went online, and I'm like, I tweeted Anwar and said, "Dear Anwar, please move your rally for the community." Then, of course, Rafizi came back, and, "Ha ha ha, are you the only one who won't give it?" And I'm like, "Dear Rafizi, why like that? Bisla." And then I had CEO ridiculed on da-da-da, but you know what? I think about 5,000 or 6,000 people more knew about our event. I did it for marketing purposes. No such thing as bad publicity, right? And it also helped that all these guys were at the rally going, "What is this stupid?" And I had people come up to me saying, "You know, I didn't know about your event, but after this rally thing that I saw everyone attacking you, I went online and Googled it, and I came to your event." You know? So that's all. You know, there's little things like that. It's the little things that will all add up. Yeah. It's always the little things.
One last question.
For me. From the
From the Chinese lady. What are you laughing at?
Hi, Jason. I'm Evelyn. I'm from Alpha Catalyst. I'm just very curious to know what are some of the things that you do to drive innovation in TikTok, and probably if you could share what's the most extreme one that happens.
Good question. How do you drive innovation? Alpha. Hey, are you guys from Yalpha? I'm not racist, I'm not. It's just I find that when you make fun of everyone, it's much easier. So that when you actually do have a racist joke, then people are like, "Ah, this is joking again." You know? I remember, and I do that with sex as well. I remember one day Afaf came to me, our marketing girl, and she goes, "I need to talk to you. Naz, our designer, I think he said something really sexually offensive to me." I said, "What was it?" He said, "My skirt looks nice." But Afaf, this morning I asked if your tits were bigger. And she said, "Yeah, but it's you lah, different." And I didn't understand it, you know. So I said, "No, come into the boardroom." So now I said, "What did you say to Afaf?" And he said, "I said, hey, your skirt is nice." And I understood it. It's all about delivery. You know? "Hey, Afaf, your skirt's nice." A bit short, but I mean, you know, it's different. And you go, "Hey, nice skirt." Right? So I think what drives innovation is communication. Yeah, communication always drives innovation. You'll be surprised how little communication there is in all these big companies. Yeah. Yesterday, I had someone email me within my company. Dear Jason, can I see you? One of my finance guys. Dear Jason, can I see you? I have an idea. I stood up. I said, why are you emailing me? I'm sitting over here. Come. Teh Tarik. Yeah. And he had a great idea for team sports. He was talking about this idea, and I tried to talk him through it, and I gave him some papers and I said, look, why don't you do a presentation and all that? We'll go talk to Tony. Great idea of getting some group together. So communication is a real amazing thing, and it doesn't have to come from anybody specific. Yeah, people only give respect sometimes to people in positions, but I'll give respect. The security guard, he can be innovative. You heard about Ajinomoto? You heard about the story? Do you know why there are 13 holes in Ajinomoto? Here's the story, okay, urban legend. So, the boardroom, Ajinomoto, how can we increase sales? How to increase sales? Does anybody here use Ajinomoto or cook with it? I don't know. Ask Sammy, the security guard. Bring him in. Sammy, come. Yes, sir. You know the Ajinomoto, how do you think it can increase the sales? Sir, the Ajinomoto now is only one hole. Maybe you make it more hole when the more will come out. True story, True story. That's why Ajinomoto, the holes are 13. You ever look at Ajinomoto and say, why I got 13 holes? So strange. And the holes are very big. Because even if you try to pour a bit in, it'll all come out. Yeah? But the security guard had it. So sometimes we tend to look so far afield for innovation. It's right under our noses. That's why customer care, very important. I always spend every day I go and walk around customer care. Ask them questions. How's it going? What are you guys doing? What's the latest? Did you go to Zoom last night? Or you got drunk? What are the coolest drugs in town? Tell me what's going on. So I'm up to date. I know what's going on. Yeah, you have to keep abreast of the situation. And communication will enable all this. I see companies where there's no communication. Hell, when I was in Astro, I never even met Ralph Marshall. Once, maybe. Yeah? But he's my CEO. Shouldn't I have met him the day I joined? Shouldn't I see him regularly in the office and all that? I'm not criticizing Ralph Marshall, of course, but sometimes we forget, in big companies, we forget to go around, talk to people, It's the same thing when we talk about success. People always ask me this story about how do I be successful like Steve Jobs? Steve Jobs is dead. Okay, like Tony Fernandez or Richard Branson. So why do you always want to be successful like Richard Branson and all this? Why don't you be successful like your mom? My mom? She's not successful. She raised you, didn't she? You got brothers, sisters? 2 brothers, right? She raised you and your brothers. You went to a good school, good college. You look okay. You're not like the drug dealer or anything. You seem to do all right. Yeah, but my mom is my mom. Like, yeah, but your mom is successful, wouldn't you say? See, people feel very uncomfortable with looking close to home. They keep looking for innovation in books and this and that. The best place to find innovation is in a mama stall, sitting down, asking people, what do you think about this, what do you think about that? Drawing something, and communicating that. So at Tune Talk, we have a completely open system. People talk about things. It's fun. I believe a working environment should always be fun. No matter if it's a heavy corporate culture, you can still be corporate. You can still have a lot of fences in place to prevent people from going crazy. But you have to have a fun environment. If you don't have fun at work, like Alpha must be fun. Alpha Catalyst, you say it, you got to catalyze yourself. You got to be your own catalyst. You got to encourage people to sit down and have ideas. And sometimes the ideas are good and sometimes they're bad. But if you keep communicating with them, stuff will come out. So communication. The other 2 things that I always learned from my school days: consideration and appreciation. Yeah, 2 of my most powerful weapons in this life. I have a left gun called consideration and a right gun called appreciation. And with these 2 guns, I can communicate myself in and out of anything. Yeah, I can be your darling by just showing you the consideration that you're due and showing you appreciation that I appreciate you. Yeah, my marketing team are constantly asking me to appreciate them, which I do. I do, right? Yeah, I do. I give them sometimes I give them some caca as well, but that's because they deserve it. My caca smells good. Nobody knows that caca is shit. So yes. Thank you for the question. Communicate, innovate, masturbate.
Alright, so
catch me around. I'll see you guys and try to talk.